The Witcher 4. This is actually starting to feel real now. Honestly, there's way more going on behind the scenes than I think people realize. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos. We're at the point, it's not just yeah, we're working on a situation. Of course, we've got direction, we've got the tech showcases, we've got the hiring numbers, the interviews, and if you start putting it all together, you can kind of see what CD Projekt Red is trying to build here, and it's huge. This might end up being the most important Witcher game they've ever made. So, first things first, let's lock in. What do we know? I mean, there's a lot of noise out there right now. Of course, this is Ciri's game. Not maybe, not partially, not she's one of the characters. She is the main character of the entire new saga. CDPR has been very clear about this. Basically, the next era of The Witcher, and she is going to carry all of it. Now, if you really think about it, that shouldn't shock anybody. Witcher 3's already set it up that way. We closed it out. Big G's done. His legacy is cemented, right? But, I mean, there's a lot of people that aren't really happy about this shift, but I think it's a really good way to go. Now, the next big thing is probably the biggest shift. They're fully on Unreal Engine 5. No more Red Engine here. That era is completely done. Now, that matters way more than people think because this isn't a visual upgrade. This is CDPR basically rebuilding how they make games from the ground up. New tools, new systems, new pipeline, everything. And you could already see that in the tech demo they showed off. And yes, that's a tech demo. That's not actual regular gameplay. Now, I want to be clear because people get it twisted. The Unreal Fest demo, once again, not gameplay. CDPR themselves said that. But at the same time, it tells you exactly what kind of game they are aspiring to build. They showed her off moving through the region called Kovir, heading into the port town of Valdrest. And the biggest takeaway wasn't, oh wow, look at the graphics, even though the graphics were amazing. It was how alive everything felt. There were crowds everywhere. NPCs moving around, interacting, doing their own thing, dense forest that actually looked thick and real. The world was not empty. And that's a huge shift because Witcher 3, it had amazing storytelling, but let's be honest with each other. The world itself wasn't super reactive. A lot of it was dressing, it was. This looks like they're trying to make a world that actually feels like it's living and breathing. And then you got the performance side of things, which honestly shocked a lot of people. They're saying that demo was running at 60 FPS on a base PS5. Now, will the final game hit that everywhere? That's a different story, honestly. But the fact that they're even targeting that tells you that they probably learned their lesson from Cyberpunk. They're not trying to ship another game that struggles technically. It's a priority. At the same time, they've already hinted that getting that kind of performance on something like a Series S, that's pretty challenging. And that's basically dev speak there. So we'll see. There's going to have to be compromises. We know that. Now, let's talk about some more interesting stuff. The whole new Witcher School situation, because this started as a theory, and now it's kind of in front of us. That Link's medallion, that's not random. CDPR confirmed it. Later on, they straight up referred to it as the medallion that she is wearing. So while they haven't officially came out and said, this is the School of the Links, I mean, come on. That's clearly where this is going. And that's a big deal because it means we're not just continuing the old Witcher story. We're going to expand it. New school, new identity, new era, all of it. That's exciting. Now let's talk about gameplay direction because this is where things really pick up. I think it's a little bit promising. One of the devs basically admitted something that fans have been saying for years. Witcher 3 had amazing choices in the story, but not as much freedom in the actual gameplay. Cyberpunk, they flipped that, right? More build variety, more player control, and how you actually play. Now they're saying they want to bring that into Witcher 4. So that could be the biggest upgrade we get in the entire game, because imagine Witcher 3, which was good, but with way more freedom in how you build your character, different play styles, different approaches to combat, maybe even different ways to handle contracts and monsters. I think that's the direction they're hinting in. And part of that is combat. They're clearly focusing on improving it. They have said multiple times they want monster hunting to feel important. They want it to be emotional, impactful. They want it more connected to the world, not just, here, go kill this thing and receive your reward. They want it to feel like an actual experience, which again, if you played Witcher 3, that was one of the weaker areas of the game if you ask me. It was good, I just wouldn't call it elite. And this feels like them trying to fix that. Now, let's talk about the scale. Everybody wants to know, bigger equals better, right? I mean, from what's been said, the map might not be massively bigger than Witcher 3, and that's okay. That's actually a good thing, because it sounds like they're focusing on the density instead of making a giant empty map, which is a win. More detail, more interaction, more meaningful content. That's what you actually want. And I know all we hear now is more graphics, bigger world, twice as big as Red Dead Redemption 2. It doesn't have to be that way. And then you talk about the actual numbers behind the game. CD Projekt Red has over 900 developers right now, and half of them are working on Witcher 4. That's a huge commitment, my friends. That's not a side project. This is the project. I mean, when you combine that with the fact they've been hiring like crazy over the last year, They're all in here. Of course they are. They need this to be a home run, and everybody wants to know when they're going to release it. That's the big question. Remember, I read every single comment on every single video too, so chime in, guys. Here's the reality. I'm going to hit you with it. This game is not coming before 2027. I think that's the official floor. Anything earlier than that, it's wishful thinking. It's not happening. Now, realistically, I think we're looking at 2027, probably 2028. If I'm being completely honest here, 2028 feels much, much safer because when you look at everything they're trying to do, the engine, the systems, the saga, you can't rush that. I mean, AAA games now take 3 to 5 years minimum. And after Cyberpunk and the debacle that was that launch and how good it is now, they're not rushing anything. They're going to rockstar this a little bit. They are. Now, as always, I like to talk about speculation and rumors because I know you guys like that as well. And, of course, Big G, are we going to be able to play as him? Is he coming back? I mean, he's going to be in the game, of course, in some capacity, but playable? Not confirmed, and I don't think he needs to be. I really don't. That's more of a fan theory right now than anything solid. Could it happen? Yeah, but I wouldn't go into this expecting dual protagonist or anything like that because I don't think that's going to happen, and I think it would be a mistake to do that. Another big one is how they're going to handle her power level, because if you remember Witcher 3, she was actually kind of OP. So the question is, how do you turn her being OP at the end of Witcher 3 into an actual progression system? That's something that CDPR has not fully explained yet, but they've hinted that they want more flexibility in how you actually build her out. So chances are, to me, they're going to scale things back in a way that makes sense but gives you room to grow. And then there's the whole multiple endings from Witcher 3 situation. It is a situation. They're basically said they don't want to break canon, which means they're aware of a problem here. They just haven't told us how they're going to solve it. So whether that's save imports, dialogue choices, some kind of neutral starting point, we don't know yet. We don't know. I'm curious because that's not easy to pull off if you step back and look at it. Now, this game, I mean, it feels like CD Projekt Red trying to evolve in every possible way at once. New protagonist, new engine, better gameplay systems, more immersive world. And honestly, it's exciting, but it's also risky because you're biting off a whole lot. We've seen what happens when studios aim too high. But I do think the difference this time, they seem way more aware of what went wrong before. I mean, they seem way more patient about giving us this. They were talking about performance early. They were talking about gameplay improvements early. They weren't just trying to sell us a dream and telling us to pre-order. They were actually trying to sell us on the foundation, and that could be the reason Witcher 4 actually is one of the biggest games of all time. Seriously. It comes down to execution, because right now, everything they're saying is right. But that's what developers and publishers do. They say all the right things out of the gate, right? And then we get the game, and we have to decide. Everything they're showing points in the right direction, but until we actually see real gameplay and not a tech demo, that's the missing piece. That's when we'll know. But as of right now, I think The Witcher 4 is shaping up to be one of the biggest RPGs of the next generation easily. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you want from this game, and I'll see you soon.